I first remember hearing the word gay, or it was poof in those days, being used, I think when I was 12. I think it was when I first went to high school.
I remember the first time at school when someone said the word gay. I was approximately 12 years old.
Probably at primary school. Don't quite know how old I was, probably about 8 or 9, and it was definitely in a negative context. There was nothing positive about gay. It was used as a term of offence.
When I was in school, about age 14 or something, I didn't know what gay or lesbian was at the time, and I thought like gay was just used as a kind of offensive, derogatory term.
I first remember hearing maybe around 4 or 5, just the words kind of gay or puff or fag just kind of being used in school.
We never heard the word gay from a lot of people at school, just because I live in the back of beyond from home, like a remote part of the Highlands. So when I actually properly heard the word gay, I probably didn't actually understand what it was.
It was about boys at school playing together, and they would say to another one, "Oh, you're so gay, you know, you're playing, you know, rubbish," and this kind of thing. So I didn't took it personally at that time. It was more a joke between kids and boys at school.
It was quite offensive, and it would have created this atmosphere in the school, you know, around the teenagers, where they're deciding, like, you know, what about their sexuality is, or it would make it a really hard atmosphere to be able to come out.
I think the experience was something that filled me with dread. I think from a fairly early age I was aware that I was not straight. I wasn't remotely attracted to women or girls at that age, and so I always knew I was something different, maybe odd about me.
It stung really hard, and particularly when I realised that I came into that category as well. Yeah, it wasn't easy, and it sort of chipped away at my confidence the whole time.
It was really difficult just trying to keep everything in. You know, I was very mistrustful of other people, that I didn't trust that they'd be able to keep like this dark secret that I had inside, and so, you know, keeping it to myself, it really spiraled into something much bigger.
Even though I didn't really want it and I wasn't feeling like I'm interested in guys, but still, because we were going out and all these things when you are in high school, I still, you know, had to try with guys, and it kind of didn't work out because it wasn't me.
I used to be part of quite a popular group in school, and when I was outed, I told my friend, and then she told everyone else. It was quite like a gossipy kind of group, and I didn't actually come out myself, so it was quite, it made me feel very lonely.
Knowing that I was gay and obviously not being out made me feel incredibly lonely. Very scared and very sad a lot of the time.
Some of the emotions of just being alone, of just not knowing who to turn to, of not knowing, you know, who will still care for you and who will still look out for you if they really knew that you were gay, you know, and just that kind of like, that there was something wrong with me, that if I told people about it, that they wouldn't accept me, and that's the way my mind was. It was just such a big problem in my mind that it was taking up my everyday.
You know, like the crowds would like part, like to get away because you're still lesbian, you know, so it was a very negative experience.
It was something I ignored. It was a question which was too big for me to deal with. I ignored. I'd been bullied because people assumed I might be gay or was gay, and I think that experience probably also contributed to me not wanting to think about it or not wanting to address it myself.
Nobody really supported me, really, apart from my guidance teacher, and you know, there just wasn't any knowledge because no one had come out. I
didn't trust that I wouldn't slip up and that people wouldn't find out, you know, indirectly, I suppose.
And then when I look back on it, there was quite a few of us in the year I graduated in that are gay and we're all now out. So it's quite funny to think that we were all kind of like suffering in our own silence.
The first people I came out to, I think, were friends of mine and my brother.
The first person I told was my best friend, and I needed a lot of, you know, to be brave to tell her, because it's not easy to come out like this.
I didn't tell anyone I was gay till I was at university, and I grew up in London, came to university in Aberdeen, and I think the whole experience of moving so far away from home, didn't know anyone who was coming to university with me, allowed me to I suppose, explore a bit more who I was and not have the baggage of having been bullied at school about maybe being gay.
I didn't actually tell anyone when I came out. That wasn't until later on in my life, but I was outed when my parents, they looked at my MSN conversations to my ex-girlfriend at the time.
The reactions, actually, incredibly accepting. I suppose I had built it up and worried, but they were brilliant.
They thought it was just a phase, you know, they thought that I would get over it, and they cried for a little, and they weren't positive about it at all, to the point where I thought that being a lesbian now, you know, was a bad thing.
Some of the first people I told was my friends and stuff, because I felt like I would get more support from that.
I told my parents on my prom date, all in Awana. So I was actually at prom at the table. I turned around to my date, who had actually spoken to, she was my best friend at school, and just kind of said to her, I was like, you were right the other day, like, you know, when you asked me if I was gay.
One of my closest friends, I like went for a drive with her and just kind of, you know, take the breath and just, you know, I'm prepared, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to say it.
When I came out to people after that, I was rather shocked by how accepting they were, and it got easier every time I did it.
There came a point where I realised that, well, this was weighing on my mind. People were making assumptions that I was straight, heterosexual, and I knew I wasn't. And they were meant to be my friends, and I should probably tell them.
The words just couldn't come out that I'm gay, so I kind of had to talk around it. I had to like say, remember that girl I was talking about? Well, actually, it was a guy, and you know, at the time it really upset her. She just didn't understand.
When I told my parents, my dad actually thought I'd gotten a girl pregnant. And I kind of managed to just twist it around and said, no, I'm actually never going to get a girl pregnant unless something really goes wrong.
I eventually plucked up the courage to tell one of my good friends, and when everyone had left his room to go to bed around just after midnight, we stayed up and had a conversation. And I think I ended up getting round to telling him about 4 o'clock in the morning. It took me about 4 hours of conversation to pluck up the courage.
We were talking about gay, it was on the radio. They were talking about a gay subject on like a chat show or a radio show. And when they were talking about gay, I was like, well, what would you do if one of your sons was gay? And even then she didn't get it, and she was just like, why, what, is one of my sons gay?
It felt a huge relief to actually tell people about it, for it not to be a secret anymore. And it also felt a huge relief and great to be accepted for who I was, and for it not to be an issue for people just to treat me as they had always treated me.
She guessed the wrong brother because I wasn't the obviously stereotype gay person. I have a brother who's very caring and sensitive, and she presumed it was him. So the words came out, and she had a lot of questions. She was really confused at the time. She just kind of thought maybe it might be something that I'd get through, but eventually, you know, she came to terms with it, and she supported me. She also helped kind of tell the male figures, because I come from, like, I have 3 brothers and my father, and I was really afraid to tell them. I thought that they wouldn't accept it, you know, like as the gender, the male who doesn't, you know, accept emotions and feelings and things like that. But when my mom told them, they were all really accepting, and the reactions I got were really positive, really supportive.
The best things that happened to me is that I don't have to lie about anything of what I'm doing. So, for example, when people are asking me, oh, where did you go out last night? I'm not afraid to tell them the name of the club I wasn't. They know it's a gay club.
Well, I think from the very beginning, when I started coming out, each time it gave me more confidence. Knowing that other people knew and it made no difference to our friendships, it was brilliant.
I had a lot of friends that weren't gay, but they were completely open about things, and they came from less rural areas, so they were in schools that knew more about sexuality and, you know, different things like race, and weren't closed-minded.
I'm like a lot happier. Like, I've been able to travel around. I've gone to university, and I'm doing a course that I love. I'm training to be a nurse, and I've had relationships, and I have a job that I love, and it's all pretty brilliant.
It's been, you know, a really fantastic experience to make some real connections, you know, with my family and with my friends and relationships.
I can now speak to them about girls and all these things, and it's very funny because I'm like, oh, come on, I'm gay, so you can speak to me, and then they open up to me very easier, and it's actually amazing to have this kind of relationship with men.
I suppose I've sort of burst out of the closet more recently since I'm a lecturer and I came out at university, and that's been incredible. That's been such a wonderful experience. I'm accepted by colleagues and I'm accepted by students, and I can just get on with my life, and I'm happy now. I think happier than I've ever been before. I now accept myself as gay completely. I'm proud of the fact. It's part of me, and I think because my friends and family accept it, it's a part of me that I treasure.
Identifying as gay now kind of makes me feel like I'm part of a massive community. Even more so now I'm at university and there's a whole society dedicated to it.
You know, I really feel like I belong somewhere. Like it's made me so much more confident as a person, and the struggles that I've gone through has helped me get to the point where, you know, I'm confident in myself. I'm proud of what I've had to do to get to this point.
I would say I was very proud, and you know, I don't hold back whenever I get a new job or, you know, have any new friends. You know, I'm quite happy to say I've got a girlfriend, or I'm doing something nice with my girlfriend tonight.
And there are other times, I think, when my life where it isn't important at all. When I'm doing a job or when I'm watching TV, it doesn't matter at all. And I think that's what it feels like to be gay now in some respects, is knowing when it's an important part of your identity and when it's just part of who you are.
Like, it's nice now seeing people come up from like the 6th year at my school and now they're coming out, and I feel like I can look after them and tell them that it's all going to be okay, because like there's a lot here for them.
There's a network of people there who are there to like help and support, and who you can have fun and just do all of the things that you want to do.
It's really made me more confident, and I've if I hadn't had those experiences, I wouldn't have met my girlfriend. I probably wouldn't have come up to uni.
I would have missed out on like meeting a whole new array of friends that I got when I came like to Aberdeen and came to university, and met all of my flatmates and my best friends.
You're okay, you're great, and you know, try and accept yourself for what you are and enjoy it.
It's kind of worth just pushing through that little bit of school, like just for that whole like expanse of life that's waiting for the end of it. Like, it's definitely worth it.
You're not alone. If you're not out, you might not realise that there are other people around you in your class, some of your teachers or lecturers if you're in college, who are gay.
The more you say it to people, the more you will accept yourself as being gay, and it's very important to accept yourself.
There are always people who, regardless of whether they're gay or straight themselves, will accept you for who you are and what you are, and that for me was a very powerful lesson.
I've heard of so many people coming out that have been so worried, and then they're just like, their parents or their peers have just been like, you know, it's completely okay, you know. And if you have a negative experience, which a lot of people do, there's so many LGBT plus groups, you know, whether that's youth groups or something in your school.
Find somebody who you trust and talk to them. Talk to anyone, whether it's a friend, a colleague, a doctor, a phone line, anything that it is, or anyone who you feel comfortable talking to. Talk to them, because this problem that you have is something that so many other people have gone through.
There's like relationships, there's life, there's love, there's friends, and there's all kinds of experiences that are waiting for you for like the rest of your life, and it's not worth missing out on.
You are perfect the way that you are. You know, go make friends, love who it is that you are, because you can't change who you are. That's who you are.
It will get better. Hold on.
Be proud of it, because it does get better.
And it does get better at Robert Gordon University.
Don't be afraid to be yourself. It does get better.
Dare to be yourself and share who you are. It gets better.
Stick around a little while longer, it gets better.